Go in place of Cullen Bryant at fullback.
Well, you know, Cullen Bryant had the flu last week. He was in the hospital during the week. He lost 10 pounds, and he is weak, but I'm sure that he'll start today.
And then at wide receiver, Drew Hill may go in place of the fleet-footed Billy Waddy.
Billy Waddy was injured in the pregame warm-up. He was running out for a pass, and he ran into D.D. Lewis. They had to take him in the locker room and stitch him up, but I think he'll play also.
And one change that was announced all week is Leroy Irvin will go in place of All-Pro cornerback Pat Thomas.
Yes, that's been happening the last couple of weeks, and he's been playing very well there.
Now, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, a real surprise at safety. Randy Hughes is going to start in place of Dennis Thurman.
Well, Tom Landry has said all week that he feels that they have to stop the run of the Rams, and I think that's a move to help stop the run.
And in the offensive line, we have a change. John Fitzgerald was concerned as to whether he'd start. He's not. Robert Shaw will.
Well, yeah, he's had a bad foot, and he wasn't sure yesterday. He wasn't sure before the game, and now we know that Shaw will start at center.
Pat Haggerty is the official for today's game. Let's go down on the field now for the flip of the coin.
Go home we got here. Hey, Harv.
Full call a coin. Call it in the air, please. Heads he calls. Tails it is. Dallas won the toss and will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
Danny White will be getting his first starting call into playoffs. And, John, you have said so often that this game really could be determined in the line.
Right, that's what it's all about. You know, we talk all the time about the quarterback, the wide receivers, the running back, but it all starts in the offensive line, because if you don't have that, if you don't have the protection, everything else is academic.
I think the interesting thing, John, about
Is the fact that the home field advantage is kind of a contradiction. The Cowboys come in here unbeaten, untied for the first time in the history of their franchise, but in the last 4 divisional playoff games with Los Angeles, the visiting team has won.
Sometimes teams get too comfortable with the home field advantage.
All right, back for this kickoff will be James Jones. Kicking off will be Frank Carell. Jones this year has just been spectacular for this Dallas team, setting a punt return record both in yardage and number of returns in this 1980 season. And this wild card game is underway. Carell with a knuckleball, and Jones will bring it out. 15, 20, Jones out to the 26, and there's a flag on the play. At the 26-yard line, Dallas expects to have the football, but let's see what the penalty is all about.
I'm sure Dallas will have the football, but it'll be 15 yards back from where they originally brought it, because it'll be a clip, as we see.
That could be the biggest drive stopper in the world, and they haven't even started a drive yet.
And you hate to have it happen on the opening kickoff. Like I used to always tell my guys, if you can read their name, don't block them.
What if they couldn't read, John? Then you're in real trouble, huh?
Well, if they could see their name.
So now, as the penalty being stepped off, we'll check it offensively. Tony Dorsett, Robert Newhouse will be starting in the backfield. As we mentioned, Robert Shaw will be going at the center spot in place of the veteran John Fitzgerald. Let's listen now to Pat Haggerty.
Personal foul. Clipping number 71 on the return. First down.
That is Andy Frederick. There's the offensive line of Dallas. Donovan and Scott are voted to the Pro Bowl team.
Right, and they'll have their work cut out today, not only in the pass protection, but also picking up blitzes on 2nd and 3rd down.
56 sacks this year by the Los Angeles Rams as Tony Dorsett brings it out to the 10-yard line. And that's all, a gain of 2. As we check now, the offensive picture, Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, the all-time leading receiver for Dallas. There's White, Dorsett. First back in the history of the NFL to gain 4,000 yards in 4 years consecutively.
And that's the man that the Rams feel they have to stop today.
Tony Dorsett, who's had 2 100-yard days against Los Angeles in this great rivalry. Just across the 10-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 8. a little delay to Newhouse, and that did not fool anybody as Los Angeles reacted very well to that. Boy, this big forward wall, the Los Angeles Rams with Pro Bowler Larry Brooks leading the charge.
It looked like a little mix-up. It looked like White thought he was going to the right and said, oh, no, that's to the left. I better get back there.
I guess you have a few jitters maybe, huh, to get out of the way when you start a big game?
You do, and sometimes those quarterbacks will forget the play that they call from the time they go from the huddle to the line of scrimmage.
Robert Shaw with that big starting job at center. Fitzgerald has had foot difficulties. 6 defensive backs are now in for Los Angeles on this passing situation of 3rd down and 8. And we're going to have a delay of game? No, a timeout is called by Dallas. And, John, they must have been concerned about those 6 defensive backs that jumped in the backfield.
That's right, and I think that did surprise.
1 and 8. This is not the field position, John. You want to start a playoff game out. 6 defensive backs again out there for L.A. From the shotgun is White. Billy Joe Dupree, the big tight end, but I don't believe he has the first down. He's about a yard short of that. He's dropped at the 18.5-yard line as Dupree, who had 29 catches in the regular season of play, is just short. It'll bring up 4th down, a yard to go.
Let's watch it again. Again, it's a shotgun, and on the passing situations, this is what the Cowboys like to be in their shotgun. We see the Rams with the 6 defensive backs. He goes to the tight end just a little short of the first down, but at least he got some room for himself to punt the ball.
Danny White, who was 6th in the NFC in punting, with a 40.8 average to kick to Leroy Irvin. Irvin coming in here with a 7-yard average at the 40-yard line. And all of that picks him up 2 yards to the 42-yard line. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. And there's the dean of the NFL coaches, Tom Landry, in his 21st year, as the Rams will have excellent field position, and in checking the lineup, Colin Bryant is in at fullback as they have their first snap from the line of scrimmage.
Right, and Ed Too Tall Jones is at left end.
Too Tall Jones with the toe, and Bryant, who lost 10 pounds this week when he was hospitalized with the flu. From the 42 in motion, the big tight end, Hicks. This is Gerald Thomas. And Thomas up to the 43 for a gain of 1, and that is all. Second down and 9.
The Cowboys have been talking all week, Gary, that they have to stop Gerald Thomas. They felt that the first game that they played that they really didn't know who he was. Who is this guy Thomas running around here? Now they know who this guy Thomas is.
I guess so. He gained 147 yards in that game. Then he came back to gain 144 last week against Atlanta, averaging 6.6 a carry in those 2 games. Second down and 9 for Los Angeles. Just underway. Colin Bryant goes in motion. This is Thomas again. And Thomas to the 45-yard line. Randy White making the tackle. Well, Ferragamo was concerned about that Dallas might blitz early. He had these comments.
They might try to come out early and try to blitz us with our pro formation, our 3 wide receivers, or just our regular formation. So we'll be alerted to that fact and be ready to go from there.
This time on a 3rd down and 6, Los Angeles comes out with 3 wide receivers operating from the 45-yard line. Ferragamo with his first pass. Protection is there. Thomas, the intended receiver at the 25-yard line. And so, defensively, Dallas holds on this first series, and that has to give them some confidence.
That will give them confidence, and that's what they needed. First of all, they were able to stop the run, and on the big 3rd down pass, they know that Ferragamo is going to come out. As we watch it again here, now there was no blitz on the first pass. We were watching for that. We anticipated there was no blitz. It was a good throw, just a little too long for Gerald Thomas.
You might recall that Los Angeles really got off the mark in a hurry against Dallas in that Monday night game. They led 28-0 at half. Frank Terrell, number 3, bad snap. but he gets off a fine kick. This is Jones at the 15-yard line for Dallas. To the 20. He has a picket line to the 30, 35, 40. Jones reversing field to the 50-yard line. He's all the way to the 42-yard line of Los Angeles, which is where Los Angeles had the line of scrimmage. So Jones negates a fine kick by Terrell, and Jones this year, who's averaged 10 yards a return, really picked up his average here.
Right, and we'll see it here as he starts to come out to this side. Watch Planksdale right there get a good block for him, and now he's able to break back to the inside. This is what Dallas needed. They needed this type of start.
A 43-yard return and a 43-yard return to the 42-yard line of Los Angeles. No score. We have 10:44 to go in this first quarter. Danny White on first down to throw. He has Drew Pearson wide open. Leroy Irvin found out you've got to backpedal because Drew Pearson had him beaten.
I tell you, Tom Landry is going to open it up. We talked about this before. There's a penalty. I'm sure it's holding against the Cowboys, and they'll go back 10 more. But this does loosen up the defense. What's that? He has 3 or 4 steps on Irvin. Now, Irvin will think about that all day. It's incomplete. There's a penalty on the play, but I'll guarantee you he'll remember that one.
I bet he has very little saliva in his mouth right now after a play like that, huh? That's got to shake you.
He probably does anyway. He's a rookie starting at a cornerback in a playoff game.
Number 61, offense.
That's Jim Cooper. As you look at Vince Ferragamo, Jim Cooper, the right side offensive tackle for Dallas with a 10-yard penalty. Bring it up now, 1st and 20. The ball at the 47 of Dallas.
He's going against Jack Youngblood, and Jack's ready for a big day.
Robert Newhouse gets a couple of those yards back to the 50-yard line, where it's going to bring up 2nd down and still 18. Larry Brooks, who's been in 5 straight Pro Bowls for this Los Angeles team, made the stop. There's Brooks, 6'3", 253 pounds. He's a man that had a nagging ankle injury a year ago and has come back strong this time. And John, once again, the Rams are jumping into that 6th defensive back alignment.
That's why the Cowboys wanted to be able to run or throw on first down so that they could stay out of this situation of 6 defensive backs.
2nd and 18. Pearson in motion. Tony Dorsett. That's only 2 yards. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 16. Nolan Cromwell has a lot of respect for Tony Hill and Drew Pearson, as he explained to us yesterday.
Both Drew and Tony Hill seem to be, I think, their favorite people, like on the 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11 situation, because they are able to catch the ball anywhere on the field, across the middle, which a lot of times is very tough because a lot of people sometimes get a shot on you when you do come across the middle.
Nolan Cromwell, the Pro Bowl performer at safety. 3rd down.
This is a situation that he's talking about where they like to go to Drew Pearson or Tony Hill.
Butch Johnson, by the way, is now checked in. He's in motion, number 86. White is looking his way. Now he has Drew Pearson. He can't hang on. That would have been about a yard short of still 10 yards in the first down. And so 4th down will be coming up. John, we talked about maybe having a shootout, a wide open, a high-scoring game, but right now both these defenses doing a pretty good job.
And there's the guy that's waiting to warm up that arm. He says, I haven't even got started yet.
And he can do it. He had 3 touchdown passes Monday night against Dallas, as White will kick again. Twin safeties this time, Johnny Johnson and Irvin going back for the Los Angeles Rams. There's Leroy Irvin, the man who got the heck scared out of him a while ago on that long pass to Pearson. Almost blocked. White just got it underway. They're going to let it hit, and the Cowboys are going to down it. Dickerson, the rookie from SMU, has downed it to 1. What a job.
Pass out of his own end zone, 43 yards to Preston Denard, and I felt that changed the momentum and set the pace for the whole game.
Well, let's see if they can get out of there again. Waddy's in motion. Alan Bryant, a yard, and that's all. Billy Waddy, as we mentioned at the top of the show, had a collision with D.D. Lewis of the Cowboys. He has 4 stitches in his mouth. That's kind of a tough way to start a football game.
Yeah, but that just warms you up for what's going to happen later. They love that kind of stuff. If you're going to get into it in the pregame warm-up. I guarantee you one thing, Gerald Thomas isn't a surprise to this Dallas defense anymore.
There's Youngblood.
He's just getting a little extra tape. He knows it's going to be a long day.
Second down and 9 for Los Angeles. Just about the 2-yard line, a little short of it. Ferragamo with time to throw. Billy Waddy is there. John, I don't know. Did he see that football?
I think he saw it. You know, he has a problem with his hip. He has a hip pointer. And as you look at that, right at the end, he looked like he couldn't stretch out. He really had it. It's good. You talk about confidence in your offensive line. When you throw out of your own end zone like this, that is confidence. But watch this throw now. It's really a good throw. He has the 2 beat. He's double covered. But look, right at the end, he didn't look like he could stretch out and get it.
Oh, he's got the 4 stitches. He's got the hip that's bothering him, and he had a very, very close. That could have maybe gone all the way if he caught that.
And that proves that you can throw against double coverage.
And again, as you said, what confidence they had on that line on the 3rd down. 3 wide receivers for Los Angeles, and this time Preston Denard. The intended receiver at the 20th point scale. The rookie defending. And Ferragamo has scared this Dallas team, but yet to connect and really get anything going.
I tell you, but he's had some things open, Gary, and he knows that his confidence isn't hurt because he's had good pass protection. He's had people open, and it's just a little off. And he knows there's plenty more where those came from.
Boy, this field position that Dallas should get after this play. Frank Correll, look at him. He's backed up as far as he can get.
And he only has 11 yards. This is only 11 yards. He normally is back 15 yards.
Now, if he'd step out of the back of that, of course, it would be a safety. At the 8:08 mark, low snap again, but another fine kick. Jones at the 40, 30, and Jones doing a superb job in the early going for this Dallas football team. Returns it to the 25-yard line, and Dallas, who started deep in their own territory after the initial kickoff for NFL, and both still looking to get on the scoreboard at the 7:58 mark of this first quarter. They have 2 tight ends in on this play. Dorsett for a gain of 5 to the 20-yard line. Both Jay Saldi and also Billy Joe Dupree were lined up. Nolan Cromwell will be credited with the stop, and Cromwell out of Ransom, Kansas, a population of 400 up there to make the stop. It'll bring up second down and just a little more than 4 yards to go. There's Reynolds.
You know all about those guys from Kansas. Now, there is an intense guy. I was in the locker room.
This guy here?
Well, he's kind of intense, too. He is so intense, he was ready to play 3 hours before the game.
They say he's like a computer down there.
I was ready to play.
You got your tie off and everything. You got kind of worried about you. Here's Newhouse, and Newhouse for 3. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down, and still a good 2 yards to go for this Dallas team.
You know, we were talking about the Cowboys going to open up. I think this would have been a real good time to do it, but Coach Tom Landry decided to go with 2 tight ends on that first down because he wants to get some running going. He wants to get Tony Dorsett into and through the line.
Well, this time, John, he has 3 tight ends. He has Saldi, Dupree, and Cosby all checking in.
That's his short yardage offense.
3rd down, a long yard to go. That is Saldi, 87, jumping outside. Now he's coming back. Newhouse trying to pick it up, and Newhouse has it. Newhouse spinning. Here's the man who started the year behind Ron Springs at fullback that he took over in the 9th week. They say what he does so well, John, is he reads those defenses when he runs with the ball.
He sure does, and that was very interesting blocking. Jay Saldi lined up on the right side, went to the left side, came in motion, and he made a trap block in the middle to Spring Newhouse.
That'll be a first down at the 13-yard line. Those tight ends are doing more and more all the time, aren't they?
I could never coach tight ends like that.
2 tight ends on this particular play for Dallas. 5:55 to go in the first quarter. Dorsett. And Tony Dorsett to the 11-yard line after Dallas just picked up their initial first down of this game. Remember now, Raphael Septien is 11 of 17 in the field goal kicking department. As Tom Landry's thinking touchdown right now, as it's 2nd down and 8 for
Tom
Dallas.
has a lot going there. You see, he had the phone in one ear, and he had that piece of paper in the other side. Look, he got some real good stuff. He's checking. Now, he's thinking ahead for the next play. You know, if he doesn't make it on this down, what he wants to do on 3rd down. That's what he's talking about right now.
You never wore a headset, did you?
Nope. Couldn't talk and listen at the same time.
2nd down and 8. This time, Drew Pearson in motion for Dallas. Danny White with time. Danny White, the cut was made by Dupree, but the ball was too far, too wide. He had double coverage on him that time in the end zone.
I think he had triple coverage that time, Gary, and I don't know why Danny White, maybe he couldn't find anything any better, but he threw, and as we'll see this again, there was really three guys around him, the two defensive backs, and Jack Reynolds was right there trying to get something on it. See, there's three guys there. I think he was probably just throwing it away.
There's Hacksaw Reynolds. He knows all of the computer readouts for this particular game.
And before the game, they all walk by his locker and check with him on what the Cowboys do.
3rd down and 8. Butch Johnson has checked in. Also, Preston Pearson has come in. 3 wide receivers for Dallas. Shaw snaps the ball to Danny White. White, lots of time. Dupree in the corner. But again, he had 2 people on him. Irvin was over there. Also, Lucius Smith. Lucius Smith, the rookie out of Cal State Fullerton. The crowd thought maybe he was interfered with.
So did Billy Joe. Billy Joe saying, hey, they can't do that to me. You know, they can't touch him before the ball gets here, when the ball's in the air. Now, this thing, the pass protection is good. You see the time he has. He's looking left. He comes back to Dupree in the end zone. We see the double coverage. He's right between. He felt that he was bumped just before the ball got, and he may be right.
I was going to say, what do you think?
I think he's right.
All right. This will be a 28-yard field goal attempt by Septien, who's 11 of 17. He is 3 of 4 this year from this distance. Holding will be Charlie Waters. Septien's kick from 28 yards away. Hill is back deep for Los Angeles. He's had a 98-yard return this year for a touchdown, the first play of the season. And Hill will bring it out to the 27. And Los Angeles will have it there. And John, already Dallas has accomplished one thing. They've gotten on the board first as opposed to that Monday night game.
Well, that's one thing. The other thing, Jack Youngblood was saying as we look at the defense talking there about what happened on that last drive, but he was saying the way to beat the Cowboys is you get on them early, you get 2 touchdowns ahead, and then you play your game.
From the 27, Ferragamo, who's had a lot of time to throw the football, but not quite on target, has another opportunity. Center for this team, Rich Saul, one of the Pro Bowlers, one of 8 on this Los Angeles team, the most in the NFC. Ferragamo play action. Preston Denard, and that'll be a first down. Denard just short of the 45. Aaron Mitchell over the defend on the play. And Denard, who just runs those impeccable patterns, open again.
Right, that's the same type of thing that they did in the first game. They like that play pass on first down, and throwing off of that, they take Saul, as we see, he'll go to the right to help on the pass protection there. The play pass really holds the defense. Now, that ball was thrown a little early, but Denard just turned and got it just before.
Denard had 36 catches in the regular season. First down from the 44-yard line. Denard again. And Denard this time steps out of bounds at the Dallas 49-yard line. That'll be 4 yards short of the first down. There's Septien. He's happy right now.
Well, they're always happy early in the game after they've made one.
You know,
when they're not too happy is when it gets down to the end of the game and they need their kick to win. Then they tighten up a little.
You know, he has a parrot that has the colors of the Los Angeles Rams.
Right, and he taught it to roll over and play dead. I don't know what that means, but Corral didn't like it.
Second down and 4. Randy White coming off the mark very quickly as Cullen Bryant on a 2nd and 4 gets 2 of them. They're 2 yards short as we go to a 3rd down. There's Bob Brunig, who for the last 4 years has led the Dallas Cowboys in tackles in the Pro Bowl the last 2 years. They say, John, he's always in position.
Right, and that's an interesting matchup because we have 2 Pro Bowlers against each other. Rich Sauls, the center, is also in the Pro Bowl, blocking Bob Brunig. Now, that's really in the trenches. That's good stuff.
You like that?
Oh, I love it. That's where it happens. That's what it's all about.
You're up here wringing your hands out. This time, 3 tight ends are in for Los Angeles on a 3rd and 2. This is Gerald Thomas. He has it meant on inside the 40 to the 39. So on a 3rd and 2, Los Angeles goes to the rookie, who's just been somewhat of a sensation this
year. The rookie, we'll watch this from the end zone. Now watch number 32, the fullback. Watch his block. We talk about the line. They have a fine blocking line. But in addition to that, they have a great blocking fullback. Watch him. Boom, unload in there. Look at that hole now. Right up the hash mark.
Somebody said it doesn't matter who's behind that offensive line. They're just going to pick up yardage. Well, Thomas is a fine running back. First down at the 39. Colin Bryant goes in motion. Ferragamo with no real pressure. A flag. The pass complete to Denard. And Denard out of bounds at the 20. But a flag back at the 40-yard line. And right now, Aaron Mitchell is really having his hands full with Preston Denard.
I know, and they put him in these positions where they're throwing on first down. And Aaron Mitchell isn't sure if he should get up, think run support, or stay back and play pass. That's what the Rams are trying to get him to do.
Sportsmanlike conduct on number 50, defense, hand to the face mask.
That's D.D. Lewis, who for 8 years has been a starting linebacker for Dallas, and in the estimation of Tom Landry, one of the most underrated in the league.
Right, he was in the collision in the pregame warm-up with Billy Waddy. He said, "Let's get it started right now."
You always warmed up differently in the pregame for that very reason, didn't you?
Right, we did. We always tried to be going in and not going out towards the other team. There's some more.
Number 50, hand to the head mask. First down.
Well, he's just repeating it, I guess.
Now, that's embarrassing. You know, at least a linebacker, D.D. Lewis, he gets his name called when he makes a tackle, but he gets called penalty, and then he has to talk to us about it twice.
They fire him up a little bit, huh?
That's a double difference.
On the 10 now, the crowd not happy with that at all. On the first down, off to Colin Bryant, and Bryant is able to make it to the 7-yard line. And look at this, we have some fisticuffs, altercation now. These two teams don't like each other very well.
I'll tell you, they really don't, and it was before that Monday night game. This is something that's been going on for a long time, and when you get in these types of games, I mean, these are big games where the winner goes on, the loser goes home, everything's at stake. Okay, Pat, what do you got now?
Sportsmanlike conduct, number 53, defense, number 60.
Oh, they got Rooney this time. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Well, they got both. They also get Dennis Hara. Gary, see, they get them both. Now, it started here. We see Hara was on the bottom of the pile, and Bruni came in late. See, now it starts down here in the ground. Look, they're still going. Bryant's down. Now, look at Harris. See, he's trying to get up and get back at him.
I didn't know you could
do play-by-play wrestling. Look at the official in there. Good, he's grabbing jerseys.
Well, the penalty was after the play, and so the ball will remain at the 7-yard line. Second down there. In motion is Hicks. Darrell Thomas to the 5. Thomas stays on his feet to the 1. He tried to scramble across. He'll be denied the touchdown, but what an effort by this rookie from San Jose State, where it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I'll tell you something. Watch this. This is really good effort. He gets into the hole. There's really nothing there right at the hole, so he cuts back. Look, he cuts back, and then he's coming right up, and look at this extension right at the end. He doesn't quite reach it because he's down, and he can't reach into the goalpost.
And there he is, the man from San Jose State who started his collegiate career at UCLA behind Wendell Tyler, wasn't playing enough, so he transferred. 3rd down, they're at the half-yard line. 3 tight ends are in for Los Angeles. Ferragamo to Thomas, and he's in for the touchdown. Los Angeles has taken a 6-3 lead.
They had to. Look at Ray. He's happy because he likes that type of thing. He likes that play in the trenches. That's about the Ram offensive line. It's the 5 linemen and 2 more guards in the backfield.
Here's Jones. Jones just been superb. Look at this. The 30. Stiff arms the man out across the 35. So after a 43-yard return earlier, this time Jones again gets good field position for Dallas at the 35.
I'll tell you, he does. He had some good blocks. He starts up the middle. He brings the Rams to the inside, gets them all to bunch up, and then he just bounces and takes the ball to the outside.
You know, at the start of the year, they were looking for a punt and kickoff return man. Mike Ditka came up to him. He says, "Have you returned punts and kickoffs?" He says, "Oh, yeah, I did that all the time." He had never done it in college, but he told him that he had, and you know what's happened since then.
That's the way a lot of them start. Anything to make the team.
On the 35, first down. Dallas, they trail 6-3. In motion, Drew Pearson, Tony Dorsett. Dorsett at the 40, first down, 50. Dorsett down the far sideline, all the way to the 42-yard line of Los Angeles. Dorsett, who can explode, who had 4 100-yard games this season.
And this is what the Cowboys know that they have to do. This is what the Rams feel that they have to stop. Now watch Dorsett here. Watch his style. The big thing is you want to go what? Now get your shoulders turned up. Watch how he gets square. Now he's away. Once he gets turned upfield.
He kind of quietly goes after 1,000 yards. As we said, 4 consecutive years he's been over that. This year, his second best year with 1,185 yards.
That's just 4 consecutive years in the pros. Before that, he had 4 in college and 2 in high school.
That's Ivory Sully, a backup defensive safety going in. So both teams now have safeties in the dressing room. Here's Dorsett on a first down to the 40. A pickup of 2. Second down and 8. And that's the thing, John, it really hurts. You get ready for a big playoff game, and all of a sudden your troops, the right, start to get thinned on the sideline.
Right, and we'll see the effect of that because the Rams love to play the 6 defensive backs. Now, Ivory Sully was one of those 6. Now they'll have to make an adjustment, either go with someone else or go with 5 defensive backs.
Now you're looking at that defensive alignment. Usually when they go to 6 backs, they have Joe Harris in at linebacker. He's not in there now. They have 3 linebackers in on this play. Second down and 8. 53 seconds to go in this first quarter. That's Pearson in motion. Danny White on the play action. Pressure from Cody Jones. And Tony Hill was really belted by Nolan Cromwell. Cromwell timed it perfectly as Hill had to kind of come back and wait on the football, and he was sitting pretty for Cromwell.
What a player this Nolan Cromwell is. You know, he's all over the field. He was outside. He was outside on the numbers. See, as White started to roll one, then he threw back. Cromwell made a great reaction here because Tony Hill was open.
Look at that hit.
That's 2 players both diving for the ball. Now, Tony Hill was injured on that play, and he's going off the field.
Tony Hill, as you can see, he is hurting a little bit. He's their big play performer. 60 catches this year for Dallas. As Nolan Cromwell was the man that took him out of there.
I really like this guy. He was telling us yesterday the respect that he has for both Tony Hill and Drew Pearson. He kept saying, you know, they'll come inside.
I think they have respect for him. Third down and 8 from the 40. This time, 6 defensive backs are in for Los Angeles. White stepping up. Preston Pearson. Pearson would have had the first down catch if he had held on at the 30-yard line.
Right, and we were talking that Ivory Sully has gone. Now Lucius Smith is in there. We see the 6 defensive backs. You see how they have them spread out? They have 6 defensive backs. Look at the coverage here. They have 4 linemen and 1 linebacker. They went to work on the man-to-man guys. Lucius Smith, who's a rookie from Cal State Fullerton.
You can see there's a penalty. May have had a roughing the passer. Let's check with Pat Haggerty to see what this is all about.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 51, first down.
So that gives them the first down at the 25. And again, Dallas with excellent field position. Here's an update on Randy Hughes. He has a dislocated shoulder.
Watch this, right after he threw it. See, now once the quarterback throws the ball, you can't hit him. Now, I know that Joe Harris is saying my momentum was going, there's nothing I can do about it, and he was probably right, but the rule says after the quarterback lets that ball go, you can't touch it.
And so the first down at the 25. There's Joe Harris. He's the man that will be in there when they go to 6 defensive backs. 37 seconds to go in this first quarter. 6-3. Los Angeles has the lead. Danny White. White. Billy Joe Dupree broken up beautifully that time. Johnny Johnson, their number 1 draft pick out of Texas, back there to save a touchdown.
I'll tell you, Johnny Johnson made an all-pro play right here because he had good position all the way on Billy Joe Dupree as we see him here. Now watch this. then he waits. Now, if he gets impatient and goes too soon, that could be pass interference. But watch here, he waits, delays, and then gets his right hand in front and knocks the ball down.
Johnny Johnson, who earlier this year picked off a pass and went 99 yards against Green Bay, the longest of the year in the National Football League.
What did you call that?
$1 million run.
I've never heard of a run worth $1 million. But
well, he signed for that $1 million contract. Second down, 10 from the 25. Newhouse and Dorsett, the running backs. This is Newhouse, and Newhouse gets nowhere. Robert Newhouse just couldn't find any running room, and it's going to bring up a third down and still virtually 10 yards to go. It's not surprising you cannot run against this Los Angeles team. They held Dallas to 96 yards in that Monday night game.
Well, that's the thing that is so tough about this defense is you want to stay out of these third and long situations that the Cowboys are in now, and one of the ways to do it is to be able to run on first down. And when you're not able to do that, then you get into those situations you want to stay out of.
Well, we played 15 minutes, John, and thus far, Los Angeles has the advantage by 3 points.
These to the shoulder pass.
You can't grab anything.
Nope.
Third down, 11 for Dallas as we start the second quarter. 6 defensive backs are in for Los Angeles. White in trouble. Cody Jones, he gets away from him. This is Salty to the 15, Salty to the 10. Danny White averted a long loss, an excellent ad-lib situation, and Jay Salty, who's had his best year in the National Football League, comes up with a first down catch.
And that was a big play for Dallas. You know, we always talk about these running quarterbacks. They really don't have to be able to run. All they have to be able to do is take a few steps right or left like that. See a few quick steps, get out of the way, square their shoulders up, find something else as he finds Salty in there.
One thing they've always said about Danny White, John, he's very, very smart. That's not too bad of an asset to have in the National Football League. There's that shirt, getting back to it. Looks like it's plastered on it.
Right, it is plastered. There's nothing to grab on Jackie Slater.
First down, the ball just outside the 10, Dorsett. He got a yard, and that's all to the 10-yard line. And again, they're finding it very difficult to run up the middle against this Los Angeles defense, which was fourth in the NFC against the rush. And Dorsett saying, hey, I know it's tough going up there.
That's what he's saying. He said, look, there's nothing there. We're trying everything. We're going 2 tight ends. They want to get them spread out. And there's a reason right there. And that guy in the middle, 64, Jack Reynolds, I'll guarantee you he's ready to play.
Well, he's their leading tackler, Hacksaw Reynolds. Boy, he's got that glint in his eye.
He has that look. All those linebackers are a little goofy. They all have that little glint in the eye. I'll guarantee you Jack Reynolds has it.
Second down and 9 for Dallas. White with Youngblood getting chased. Along with Jones, the pass is complete to the 7-yard line to Dorsett. Tony Dorsett dropped at the 7. We're going to bring up third down and still 7.
You know, we were talking about the Ram offensive line, but this Cowboy offensive line, we watch right there, 64, Tom Rafferty. He's done a great job of pass protection in there for this team, but they're giving Danny White some time, too. He wanted to get the ball into the end zone. Couldn't find anything there. Had to come off here to Dorsett.
You might remember this. They could get a first and goal just about at the half-yard line should it come to that.
I think they'll throw one into the end zone, and if it's not complete, they'll kick the field goal.
Third down and 6. Preston Pearson, their specialist on third down passing plays again. White to Hill. And Hill, who was shaken up earlier, defended against that time by Rod Perry. And Perry, a Pro Bowl performer who had 5 interceptions this year, played that perfectly.
He's coming over and he's taking his congratulations. Now, you know, we talk about short corners and so on. He's only 5'9", but you can't throw against him. Watch this. He's step for step. He's a great jumper.
And so, coming back in for his second field goal attempt of this afternoon will be Septian, who earlier booted one from 28 yards away. They're missing Pat Thomas, the other side of that cornerback duo, an all-pro performer. But Rod Perry, a man who a couple of years ago had 8 interceptions.
Talking about missing, the Cowboys in the huddle were missing 2 or 3 guys. They had about 9 out there. Here, they're bringing 2. They forgot their holder.
That might be important.
Charlie, unless you want to drop kick it.
Now, from this distance, Septian is 4 of 5 this year. This will be a 25-yard attempt. Waters, they may let this run down and will. They're going to take a delay of game. After all that, I guess they decided let's keep our poise and take our time and do it right.
I'm surprised. I'm not really sure what happened. I was looking out there in the huddle, and Stautner is talking to Tom Landry about it right now, but he only had 9 men in the huddle, then he got 10, and Jack's saying, come on, let's play.
Do you improve the angle from back there, John?
I don't think that's why they did it. I really think that Charlie Waters, the holder, wasn't in there, and they had to wait for him.
Delay of game. Offense.
And then instead of trying to hurry up and rush, they decided to take the penalty because it really doesn't make that much difference.
Well, it would have been a 25-yard attempt. Now it's going to be a 30-yarder. Again, Waters will hold. Septien, 11 of 17 in the regular season, 1 for 1 today. He's 6 of 6 from this distance. So maybe that's a reason. He has more confidence there.
Put it right on the red, white, and blue line.
And Septien has it on the way. And he has tied the hill back deep for Los Angeles. Boy, he got into this one. And Hill's not going to bring it out. Septien drills it deep all year long, John. We've seen guys that can kick the field goals that had a tough time kicking off into the end zone.
Yeah, the 16-game season is really a long season for a kicker, and there's a stretch in the season that their legs seem to go tired, and that's Ben Agajanian there. He's the kicking coach for the Cowboys. He just works with the kicker. He lives in California. Septien was having a little problem. They brought him in, and now he's been living here in Dallas and staying with the Cowboys, but more specifically with Septien. See, he has someone to talk to.
I was going to say they're on the same wavelength. From the 20-yard line, first down. That was Nelson, the tight end, in motion. Ferragamo with time. Preston Denard. He's loose at the 50. Fumbles the ball. It's kicked out of bounds by Charlie Waters, and it's going to be Los Angeles football at the 34. Waters gave him about a 10-yard pickup after he kicked the football.
Okay, now first we'll watch your line here. Now watch this, the protection here. They have their hands out in front. We see Randy White starts to break through first, so Rich Saul had to come off on him. He got the job done. Now again, he has the end. Dennis Thurman misses right there. Now, what the rule is here, the last man to have possession of the ball gets it. See, it's a possession. The last man was Denard. No possession yet. A kick there, Rams ball.
So the gain goes all the way to the 34-yard line. And all of a sudden, Los Angeles with excellent field position. Billy Waddy in motion on a first down. This is Brian Hughes. He hit. There's a flag thrown all the way from the secondary to the line of scrimmage. That's one of the longest flags I've seen thrown all year.
Okay, now you know who it's on, don't you, when it comes from way back there?
Well, you certainly do.
I do. It's on the tight end. It's either the tight end or the linebacker playing on the tight end. Now, it's something that the tight end did.
Well, let's see who it was and what happened. Holding. I tell you, John, you're the only guy I've ever known that knows exactly, as the flag is in midair, who it's going against and what is the particular violation.
I used to scout those officials. I'm talking about officials. This guy right here, the referee, that's Pat Haggerty. He's one that I had the greatest respect for. I think he's a great referee.
You know, he's been in this league 16 years.
That's a long time to be doing this every Sunday and having people yell at you.
Like you?
No, not much of him.
Number 83, offense.
You mentioned that Randy White was having some double team action. We talked to him about being double teamed.
Well, I really don't think that the double team is not something that you worry about going into a football game. You just go out there and play and give it your best shot. And if they decide they want to double team me, we got enough good people that somebody else is going to make escapes.
On a 1st and 20, that's Cullen Bryant advancing the ball to the 35. They're still 10 yards short of the first down as he gets 10 of those yards back.
And that last penalty was on the tight end, number 83, Terry Nelson.
You know, Randy White, one thing that Dan Radakovich said, the line coach for the Rams, says we can't double team White too much because of the other people around him.
Well, that's right. What he was talking about is the 4 linemen cover the 4 offensive linemen. And Rich Saul, the center, is free, so he doesn't want to have him double Randy. He wants to keep him free to help wherever is needed.
On a 2nd down and 11, a catch Very close to the first down. Terry Nelson, the big tight end who's been slowed this year. In fact, out of the lineup for 12 weeks with a severe groin injury. But he came up with a big catch on that play.
This is who we're talking about. Now watch the center here, Rick Saul. See, on pass protection, he is not assigned a man. See, here he starts. He's going to help. He has to help here. That's one of the doubles that we were talking about on Randy White. He really got off, and look what he does to Ferragamo. That was one of the things Charlie Waters says. This week we have to introduce Randy White to Vince Ferragamo.
On the first down, Colin Bryant. And Bryant to the 21-yard line. Ferragamo now was 5 of 8 in this game for a total of 87 yards. He seemingly now is starting to get a lot of confidence in his passing game.
Well, he is. He has a confidence. I think that he's always had that. But, you know, when you have two big, strong running backs behind you, that really helps a quarterback's confidence.
One thing they said about Ferragamo is he does not appear to be afraid to get hit, but he will really stick in there. On a second down and 8 now. And the 21. Ferragamo hit from behind by Charlie Waters. Waters hit him as he released the football. And that's one of those blitzes that Tom Landry is expected to bring into this game.
It's one of the things that last time they played, they felt that they didn't get enough penetration. They didn't get back there. Now watch, we see the double on Randy White, but they do have a blitz coming, and no one blocks Charlie Waters. That's one of the things that they felt they didn't do enough of in the first game that they will have to do more of today.
Well, Roger Staubach said that at the start of the show. He thought he'd take some chances on defense, and that time it paid off. Third down and 8. Billy Waddy, Preston Denard, split out. Nelson, the tight end. Truman is in there, along with Colin Bryant. Truman has been a very durable back for this Los Angeles team. On third down in the corner, Denard. Touchdown! Preston Denard down there from Ferragamo to Denard. James Jones out of Mississippi State. And Jones continues to do an excellent job as he brings it out to the 28. They always talk about special teams performers. One of the best is number 51, Joe Harris of Los Angeles.
Let's follow him down to play. Now, the thing that the Rams did better on this is they stayed in their lanes. They didn't all converge. But watch how long you have to run before you get any action. It's not always the fastest guys that gets down there the first. It's the guys that really want to. Now watch, he takes on a block there in the wedge. He waits for the ball, he sees it, reacts off, and he makes the tackle.
That's a lot of work.
Well, you have to run a long way before you go to work.
At the 29, a first down for Dallas. Well, you said something during that timeout. Dallas may have to come back now and match him. We may get into a shootout if they're going to stay in this one. Here is Dorsett. Hangs on. 35, 40. First down to the 44. So Dallas comes right back. Dorsett almost did not hang on to that.
Yeah, this is what they're going to have to do, throw on first down, including screens. And we'll start off here with the pressure. Now, on a screen pass, the offense invites the line to rush. They say, come on. They just bump him, and then they let him go. The guy's in the middle. Then he holds it. Then he gets the ball. Now, the linemen, they come out to the left. They form in front of Dorsett, and he says, go, and they go.
Tony Dorsett, who had this year 34 catches in the regular season. First down at the 44-yard line. White to Saldi. And Saldi had a man draped all over him. That's Johnny Johnson. Let's look at this again, because this is an excellent shot of what White is doing as he surveys the field. Now look at the coverage by Johnny Johnson. This is the guy that they traded with Cleveland to get a pick where they could get him before somebody else would, and the fleet-footed Texas product has done an excellent job this year.
You see what's that say?
Quiet Dallas Cowboys on TV. Second down, 10. Dorsett to the 50, and Tony very close to another first down at the 46 of Los Angeles. Boy, he can explode on you. At that time, he had that corner. And that is what they were not able to do really effectively in that Monday night game.
Now look, there was a pitch from the I formation. The Ram defense just got caught up to the inside, and Dorsett was able to get out around the corner.
And now they're going to measure and see if he in fact did get the first down.
Dorsett, did you see him there? He's a little happier. Remember down there in the goal line, he came back and he was shaking his head and saying, what does the guy have to do? And he said, maybe you just have to go outside on him.
And And they are not going to be far enough up the field. It's going to be just short. Well, Drew Pearson has a lot of respect, John, for that Los Angeles secondary, and we visited with him about it.
They have a good secondary. Nolan Cromwell is probably the best free safety in the business, and he made his presence felt in that first game. We played him a couple weeks ago, so we have to do some things different to try to combat their secondary.
I was really impressed with Drew Pearson.
I was too. It was the first time that I'd had a chance to meet him, but I'll tell you, there is a determined young man.
And a clutch man on many, many passing situations. 3 tight ends now come in for Dallas on 3rd down, less than a yard to go. And White's going for it and has it. Andy White to the 45-yard line as Dallas getting a very good charge off the line. As you look at Aaron Mitchell, the secondary has really been tested already this afternoon.
Well, you know what that secondary is saying there is we watch the corners, they're saying, okay, now they may get some on us, but come on offense, let's go. When they get one, you have to come back and match it.
And there is a young man by the name of Pat Hayden who has been waiting as Ferragamo, also Bob Lee on that sideline. Watching Ferragamo do the job as Dorsett on a halfback option. He can't throw it, and instead runs with it. He was trying to hit Tony Hill down at the 10-yard line, but he was covered very well by Rod Perry and also Cromwell.
I'll tell you, that is a secondary that you don't fool. You know, 3 of the 4 defensive backs of the Rams are in the Pro Bowl. That's Rod Perry and Nolan Cromwell, who were both covering on that play. And the other one, of course, is Pat Thomas, who's not playing today. But you see, he's starting to do it. See, he starts off here. He tries to make it look like a run. He has his guard out there in front, Rafferty, and he sees that there's nothing there. So he just puts the ball down because this is a guy that he saw come over in a double coverage.
Did you see him get down? Did you see Dorsett get way down to throw? He was going to really crank up. White back to throw on 2nd down. Drew Pearson, and Pearson has a first down at the 24. Urban defending on the play, and that's the man we talked about earlier. They love to go to him, the all-time leading receiver for Dallas.
And I'll tell you, watch the pressure here that Danny White gets right at the end. He really gets sandwiched in here. Watch, he throws the ball one down there at his knee, and he gets another one right on top of him. But again, we talk about that clutch receiver. There he is, Drew Pearson. And those are really, great players play great in big games.
You know, John, to show that, he has caught at least 1 pass in 14 straight playoff games. Of course, extending that today as he goes off, and it brings up a first down at the 23. Saldi is going to be split to the top of the screen. The tight end is Billy Joe Dupree. Saldi can play a tight end or a wide receiver. Springs also in the backfield. Saldi again maneuvering around. Dorsett to the 15, and Dorsett's to the 12. The ball is loose. But I believe he was down. It will be the Cowboys football. That's exactly what it is.
Right, we'll see that. This is 2 tight ends. The Cowboys are trying to get the Ram defense spread out. It's what we call a roll draw. White starts to roll, hands the ball to Dorsett. Pick a hole, finds a hole into the Rams secondary. Takes a whole bunch of them to get him down, doesn't it?
Boy, it does. And he has 50 yards on 10 carries. And not a bad average.
He came very close. As we watch this, watch him try and strip him at the end. See that hand in there? He holds that one off right there. See, they're going for the ball at the end. They know they have him stuck. Now see Cromwell there? He was trying to pull the ball out. It did come out, but too late.
Danny White yelling some instructions out. First down now. The 12-yard line, Dorsett to the 10-5. He's going in. Touchdown. Tony Dorsett. What a job he has done on this drive.
We watched that again. It was from the I formation. And we talked about the offensive line. They did a good job of taking off that lead block, which by number 20, Ron Springs, he made the block that got Dorsett through the hole. Nolan Cromwell comes around there and misses a tackle. You don't see that happen much. And here's a happy Tony Dorsett.
Boy, he was ready to spike that ball about 3 yards in the playing field. Septian trying to tie it up. This time the snap very good, and the kick is right down the middle by Septian. And again, we're even at 13 each.
We'll watch the touchdown again. Now we see Springs out there. They get a good hole in here for Dorsett. That's all he needs. He gets his shoulders square. Boom. The next thing comes to the end zone. He's getting ready to spike it. And now he gives it to us. Boom. Right there.
Septian hits it high. Drew Hill is over there along with Lucius Smith. And Smith's going to bring it out this time. Smith to the 25. A flag. 2 flags have been thrown. And at the 25 is where the point of impact is marked. Getting up very slowly over there was Huther. He thinks he was clipped, and that's what it was. Huther, a little shaken up. There he is, Tony Dorsett, 73 yards already in this game. He is really something to watch. He does everything with such precision.
He sure does, and he's not getting too excited yet because he knows that it's a long day for him, and they're going to need him some more.
Let's see who the clip was on.
Personal foul. Clipping, number 75, on the return. First down.
That's Irv Pankey. And we're going to see the clip. You see, he's going to the outside. He decides that he has to dip back to the inside.
And so the clip moves the ball back to the 10, and this crowd is really alive right now. 6:07 to go until halftime. Preston Denard in motion. Ferragamo to Joel Thomas. Thomas has a cutback ability, but Harvey Martin made sure that he didn't make the cutback. You got to really watch Thomas when he makes those cutbacks.
You do, and of course that's what the Cowboys are doing. You know, the one thing that we talked about that the Cowboys may have trouble on defense with the Rams, but it won't be any problem if they match him touchdown for touchdown.
Harvey Martin. What a job he has done. He has in 8 consecutive years led the Cowboys in sacks. He had 12 this year. Second down. 8 yards to go. Colin Bryant and a big fullback brings it out to the 19, and that's about a yard short of the first down. Bryant with that great combination of power along with speed.
You're talking about Harvey Martin. Now, let's watch him. He's there on Doug France. Now, that is really some beef going against beef. See, France is trying to hook him. Harvey Martin kept his right arm free. He didn't let him hook him, and he was able to get out and get a piece of that tackle.
We watched France yesterday. He was working on his hands, being sure he got him up.
Pass protection. That's the big thing he has to do is get out of a stance and get his hands up.
3 tight ends are in now for the Rams on a 3rd down and a yard. Ferragamo on 3rd and 1 to throw, believe it or not. He has all kinds of time. Down there, the tight end, Arnold. Walt Arnold at the 45, and that shades of Bart Starr on a 3rd down and a yard to go.
I'll tell you, it was great defense by the Dallas Cowboys. He wasn't trying to throw deep to Arnold. He was trying to throw out here to his left to Terry Nelson. Terry Nelson was held up. He couldn't get out. He waited and waited. You see him look to his left? He couldn't wait any longer, so he had to go deep with it.
There's Arnold. Arnold this year hasn't figured that much in the offense. He only had 5 catches in the regular season. As Corral on 4th down will kick from the 5. Jones is back deep for Dallas. Very interesting call at this stage of the game at that field position. Here's Corral. He hits it well. Jones at the 44, 50, and he's to the 45. 40-yard line as he stays in bounds to the 39 of Los Angeles. Jones has been superb today for this Dallas team.
I'll tell you, he has been, and that's made a big difference. You know, in the last game, they didn't have field position.
38-yard punt, a 17-yard return by James Jones. Dallas has it at the 39 of Los Angeles. Reggie Goss is now in at defensive right end for the veteran Fred Pryor. Rod Springs out of Ohio State, the man who was a starting fullback until week number 9. He is dropped at the 37-yard line, a pickup of a couple of yards, and at halftime, Brent Irv and Phillips. And they'll be updating us on some of the highlights here, and there's a lot going on here at Texas Stadium as you look at Harvey Martin. Check that. That's Ed Too Tall Jones.
Yeah, right. He's wearing a shoe a size bigger today. You know, he had that toe problem. He has a plate in that left shoe, in that left toe, and then that left shoe is one size bigger than his right shoe. Does that make him play any better?
I don't know, but there's very few people to buy that size. Here's White, intended for Tony Hill. Nolan Cromwell with the interception. Cromwell to the 39, and Los Angeles will take over there. Cromwell led the NFC in interceptions this year with 8. And this man, considered by many to be the best all-around athlete in the NFL.
We'll see. The person that I think caused this was Jeff Delaney, because watch right in front of Cromwell. Before Cromwell gets there, number 41, Delaney comes. See him make that ball? He just tipped it over Hill's head, and he tipped it to Cromwell.
Delaney, one of those players in the NFL that wears glasses. You know any officials that wear glasses?
I think we have one in this game.
Oh, you would never pick
I think
on
he
him.
was the first one. Yeah, you know, they never admitted that they needed glasses. I think Ray Dodez was the first to ever wear them.
Number 39, first down. Pressure from Mike Hagman. Billy Waddy. That's very close to a first down at the 49 as he just cradled that football. Where they marked it, I don't believe he got the first down. That's one of those left foot, right foot jobs.
I'll tell you, it doesn't make any difference if he got. That was a great play by Ferragamo, because that was a screen pass. And he was trying to throw a screen pass to Gerald Thomas. The Cowboys came off with him. They defensed it very well. He said, I can't throw the screen. He said, I'll just throw it down there to Billy Waddy.
Shows you something for a guy who really is a starter in only his second year. Hagman came pouring through that time and messed that up.
Messed the screen up.
Second down, less than a yard to go. Ferragamo trying to hit Denard. He's out of bounds. There's a flag, or is that a hat?
That's a hat.
That's a hat.
See, sometimes you get a flag. You already had a flag. You get a hat. But I'll tell you what the hat is for. If the receiver steps out of bounds, the official throws his hat down. That means that he can't come in the field and catch the ball again. So once he stepped out, the hat went down. Now he can't receive the ball.
Boy, he threw that down with a lot of authority.
That's Pat Thomas. He's not playing today. You know, he's probably helping the coaches. He's probably talking to one of the defensive coaches, and they're telling him to tell Leroy Irvin something.
3 tight ends are in. On a third down, less than a yard. Thomas, and I don't think he got it. There's flags on the play. Thomas did not get the first down. Good reaction that time. And, John, that's an example that you pointed out all year long. When you got to get that short yard, why not hit straight up?
Well, I've always liked that. I like the in-closer type thing where you have a lead.
Didn't matter anyway. They have a hold against Los Angeles. Ray Malavasi, his new 3-year contract, doesn't look very happy right now.
No, he's saying, well, who's it on? What's the other flag on? See, that's what Ray's probably wondering. There's one on the line. Now, we know that's holding against the Rams. Now, the other one came from deep that was probably also holding against the Rams on the tight end again.
Well, the Rams are on the far side saying, hey, wave it off. Now, let's listen.
Number 80, offense declined, 4th down.
That's something. 2 flags and no penalty to be marched off. They were all turned down.
Billy Waddy was the man that was guilty of holding on that play.
You know what he's saying? I wasn't even in there. That's what he's saying. He wasn't. They had 3 tight ends in there, and Billy Waddy, he wasn't even in the game. He's saying, how can I hold him? Not even playing.
Oh, you love this. You love this moment. You won't let this one go by.
That's what Waddy's saying. How can you do that? And the referee isn't going to come back and say, well, I meant so-and-so. I didn't mean that.
I think you're enjoying this particular moment now in your life.
Oh, I love
the officials.
But they can't hear me. You see why they're doing this now. They want to see what the result was before they decide whether to take the penalty or not. But I thought they already turned down. Now it's 4th down and Rams ball.
Well, after all of that, Los Angeles will kick the football at the 2:48 mark. And Corral will go back. Frank Corral will kick from the 32. This guy hadn't kicked since his collegiate career at UCLA, and this year was 8th in the NFC with a 39.5 average. Says one thing that's been a problem is he has a bad punt. Sometimes it affects his field goal kicking.
Carries over.
Jones at the 17. And he'll make it just short of the 20-yard line as Joe Harris was down there again for Los Angeles. The former Georgia Tech standout who played with Chicago as well as the Washington Redskins in a couple of weeks with Minnesota. L.A. is very glad to have him. And at halftime, two guys between them who played in 9 Super Bowls.
I tell you, those are two pretty good quarterbacks, aren't they? I'd probably go back to coaching if I could take those two guys with me.
Well, they've been trying to figure out what it's going to get you back. Is that what it is? Everywhere I've gone. Anyway, from the 20-yard line, Dallas has it.
No more.
You've learned to relax now.
Learn to relax.
First down at the 20. 13-all is our score. Drew Pearson in motion. Springs to the 25. He has a first down to the 34. Ron Springs to the 34. As you see, the clock's still running. They did not allow him to get out of bounds, or he did not get knocked out of bounds, and so the clock continues.
Well, I'm sure that they'll let it continue. They're just trying to get the ball out here. They get it out to Springs. They get some good blocking
receivers. Springs and Dorsett, the running backs behind Danny White. The Springs off again, and he has another first down to the 45. He's made 2 excellent runs.
I tell you, they've both been to the same side. They've both been over there behind Herb Scott and Pat Donovan, the 2 All-Pro linemen of the Cowboys, and they've found something over there that they like.
Dallas with 2 timeouts remaining. Remember, they called one early in this game. White back to throw, stepping up. Drew Pearson, and Urban is there. It'll be a first down catch. His forward progress will be to the 37-yard line. And with the clock of 1:28 remaining, they're going to stop the clock as everyone realigns themselves. As Dallas called, they've called their timeout. That will be their second. They have 1 timeout remaining. 1 timeout remaining for the Dallas Cowboys. 6 defensive backs are in against 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. Danny White lofts it up, puts Johnson trying to get back. Nolan Cromwell defending on the play.
And Danny White is hurt, I think, Gary. He really got it. That was a safety blitz. Lucius Smith, who is one of the 6 defensive backs who comes into the game, he blitzed on that play. He wasn't picked up, and he really gave Danny White a shot. It looked like it may have been right in the ribs.
Boy, that's what you call a maximum blitz, huh?
Well, sometimes they call that a max blitz, but you call it a bad one if you're the Cowboys when you don't pick them up. That wasn't even a lookout deal.
Second down. Johnson that time didn't have a chance at it. White has shaken it off. He's been a very tough and gritty performer for this football team. The backup, Glenn Carano, has only thrown 12 passes this year. Second down, 10 from the shotgun. White with time. This is Drew Pearson again, and his forward progress will be to the 26, just inside the 27-yard line. Did he get the first down? As they're ready to go again, the time with 1:08, they did get the first down.
He did, and they can't take the timeout. They want to save that timeout for a field goal.
You see the time ticking away inside a minute. Into the end zone to Drew Pearson. Jeff Delaney from Pittsburgh, the man who missed the entire 1979 season with a spleen difficulty, back defending. Delaney has really played well for this Los Angeles team.
I tell you, and he's a very important part of this defense because this 6 defensive backs play a lot. Look at those quarterbacks. They're talking. They're probably saying, well, what would you do? I don't know. Well, what would you do? Well, I don't know. I'd ask Tom Landry, and Phyllis says, well, I'll tell you both what to do, and Brent laughs. So funny, Brent. It's not funny in the last 2 minutes.
Well, they look serious, though, don't they?
What would you do? I don't know. I'd ask Chuck Noll. I'd ask Tom Landry. Phyllis says, I'll ask Brent. Brent says, I don't know.
Second down, 10. Dallas trying to break this tie as we have 51 seconds left in the first half. White yelling things out. You see Cromwell moving around over there. Number 21. He's the quarterback of that secondary. White on the 2nd and 10. He has it intercepted. Picked off. This is Lucius Smith, a young rookie, and he has it out to the 26-yard line. 3 timeouts now left for Los Angeles with 41 seconds left. Lionel Taylor, Ray Malavase, Vince Ferragamo. What can you do with 41?
Well, I know what he's doing over there. He has one play that he would like to try, and if he can get up about 15 or 20 yards, get up to the 40, then he'll use his timeout. If this first play really isn't successful, they'll probably just run the clock out.
White with the interception, setting it up to 26. Lucius Smith played the entire preseason, the regular season play, and didn't have any interceptions. He comes in here and gets one. 3 wide receivers now for the Rams. Ferragamo with lots of time, hits over the middle. Mike Zuman, the big running back, and he makes it to the 30, and that's all. A gain of 4. And they're going to have to hurry now with the clock showing 32 and timeout called by L.A. That's the first of 3.
That wasn't who, Vince?
9 Super Bowls between them. From the 30-yard line, here we go. 3 wide receivers for Los Angeles. Waddy in motion. Ferragamo, Harvey White. Martin, I should say, giving good pressure on as Colin Bryant is dropped by Charlie Waters short of the first down. Boy, Harvey Martin really came storming from the backside that time. 3 wide receivers. Waddy's in. Bernard's in along with Drew Hill. Thomas, Bryant, the running backs, as they have 6 defensive backs in for Dallas. Here is Thomas, and Thomas out across the 40, picks up the first down to the 41, and Los Angeles will use their final timeout of this first half. 517 yards in offense. 17 seconds left in the first half. Ferragamo, and here he goes to Waddy, and Billy Waddy had Dennis Thurman hustling over there, and that will stop the clock with 11 seconds. Look at Billy Waddy again.
Again, what it was is he started out in the slot, and we'll see him. He had to come off a little bump there and try and get away from it, and then he was running to the outside with Denard going inside to the post.
Waddy, as you said, playing with that hip problem, 4 stitches in his mouth as he sustained that just before the start of the game.
You know, he looked right at the end of that thing like that hip was bothering him. That's the second time on a deep pass that Billy Waddy has pulled up on the end of the pass.
Well, he's out of there now, and Willie Miller, the veteran, has come in. Now, wait a minute. It looks like Dallas is over there. They're going to make a change. Dickerson is coming in.
Timeout. Dallas.
Dallas uses. This would be what Roger Staubach at one time threw, a Hail Mary, huh?
But they have the 3 wide receivers over on the right side.
That's it. They have that Big Ben play. You can see him at the top of your screen. Last play of the first half. Flag on the play. Danny White. Dupree is down there. The Rams come out of there. The Rams with the interception, and they're going to bring it out. Cromwell after he took the Leroy Irvin. Here is Cromwell out to the 30, but it's with offensive penalty, and they don't continue. Well, John, we're all even.
I'll tell you, we are, and I think that in that scoring department that there's much more to come in this second half because, they had a blitz more, which the Cowboys have done, and I think maybe matching point for point isn't a bad way.
Boy, Ray Malavase is really upset. And Septian gets into this one very well. Drew Hill at the 4. Hill to the 15, out to the 20, to the 25-yard line. Well, let's go back now. This is Dennis Hara, the man who's been snapping the ball. You heard what Irv said about his shoulder. Let's watch that play that could figure very big in this game.
Right. And any time that you miss an extra point, it will always come back to haunt you. And we saw Cromwell had his hands out in front there. The ball hit him in the right knee. It was low and outside. He got it down. He had a good hold, but by the time he got it down, the Cowboy rush was there, and they blocked the extra point.
Good shot by our director, Tony Burnham, from the 25. That's where L.A. has it. Ferragamo off to Gerald Thomas. Randy White is over there and wrestles him down. Let's look at the stats in the first half of play. And, John, the big stat that really isn't showing there is the turnovers. Danny White throwing 3 touchdowns, but look at that, 49 yards rushing by the Rams.
That's the big difference in this game and the last time they played. Remember, Gerald Thomas had that big game against them last time. The first half, they've held them to 49 yards. That was the first thing Tom Landry said they had to do, stop the run.
Thomas in that first game at 147 yards. Second down, 8. Here's Cullen Bryant. This time it's Harvey Martin. And on the first 2 plays, Dallas has reacted very well, and that's a concern, Ray Malavasi.
Ray has his hands on his hips, and he's saying, what's happening out there? They have more life than they do. You know, the Dallas Cowboy defense is really fired up now. They came out of that locker room, and they're excited.
Well, they last week came out of the locker room 38-0 at half, so they're in much better shape than the last time they met this Los Angeles team. Charlie Waters now comes off the field. Benny Barnes, Steve Wilson is in there. 3 wide receivers for Los Angeles on a 3rd down. And 11 yards to go. Ferragamo putting it up to Waddy. Wilson, good defensive play. Wilson, who had the interception just before halftime, and this time had perfect inside position on Billy Waddy.
He sure did. It was good defense by the Cowboys here. They had their 6 defensive backs in there. They came up and they faked the blitz like they were going to blitz. Ferragamo may have audibleized. The Cowboys didn't blitz, and Thurman was able to get over to help.
And right now it is very, very noisy here in Texas Stadium as Corral goes back to the 10-yard line. In that first half, he averaged 47.5 on 4 different kicks. And this time he hits another difference. Jones had 85 yards in return yardage in the first half. Jones this time knocks the 37-yard line to the turf. And so Dallas will have it there. Jones, one of the big stories in that first half. Well, the 8
hadn't started yet and into sync.
Right now, Los Angeles having a tough time running the ball, and that's what Tom Landry was hoping to do, was shut that down. From the 37, Drew Pearson as Cody Jones steps offside. Now let's see if he was drawn off. Drew Pearson in motion. Cody Jones reached across. It was offside against Los Angeles.
That's right. You know, I can never understand. Look, Cody Jones is 76. He's lined up right over the ball. Now, you teach a defensive lineman, watch the ball. Now, how can they jump off sides when they're lined up right over the ball? It's just that he's too anxious. He wants to go.
I got a feeling that you may have told some of your linemen or asked them that very question.
Oh,
how could you?
Yeah, especially when they lined up over the ball. I said, you just watch the ball. When the ball moves, you move. He's ready to go this time, though. Look at him. He's determined.
First down and 5. Robert Newhouse. Newhouse about a yard short of the first down. Newhouse, Springs sharing that fullback role. Fred Pryor made the stop. Now, Freddie is playing under some adverse conditions. He has a left calf that has been bothering him for a long time. He has a wedge in his shoe, too, which has helped him. He has to kind of run flat-footed.
Right, it makes his calf look a little bigger. You know, he's always worried about having those small calves, and that thing puffs it up a little. He feels like a defensive lineman now.
Boy, he was really picking on you yesterday.
He's a good player. Well, I recruited him about 20 years ago.
Second down, a yard to go. Pearson this time in motion to the near side of the field. Dorsett, first down for him. Wait a minute. Well, he was really hit. But I believe he did get the first down and did, but he paid for that one. And he is not getting up very quickly, is he? In fact, he's not getting up.
I'll tell you, Tony Dorsett just met the rookie strong safety of the Rams, Johnny Johnson. He has that fill. You know, that's what you call force, and Johnny Johnson really forced on that play. Now watch it. It's a trap play. See, he was designed to go inside. There was no hole inside. And watch Johnson.
Contact. First down. That's the 48.5 of Dallas. 12 minutes to go. Third quarter. 13 all in this NFC Wildcard game. Drew Pearson in motion. Newhouse. Newhouse for a yard, maybe 2. As he just crosses the 50, there's a flag on the play. Flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. Preliminary signal, illegal motion.
That's one thing that you don't see an awful lot of on the Cowboys. You know, they're a very disciplined team. They use a lot of shifting and a lot of motion, but they don't get called for illegal motion much.
Well, you know, the Cowboys this year set a club record for most penalties with 107. And here's one of them that's going to go against them. 5-yarder. We got the report on Tony Dorsett. Our producer David Fox indicating he had the wind knocked out as we suspected.
Illegal motion, no rain. Offense.
So what happens is when a wide receiver goes in motion, he can go across the backfield, but he can't turn up before the ball snaps. Sometimes they get so far away from the ball that they don't hear the count and they turn up too soon.
First down, 15. Well, they've got people up there now. Are they coming after him on this play? Up to Dorsett, who's back in there, and Dorsett to the 45. I think he got over that hit a while ago. He's 4 yards short of the first down.
It didn't take him long. He just stretched a little over there in the sideline. They gave him a little smelling salts, and he was ready to go again. Watch Newhouse, a good lead block on Youngblood there. Dorsett, again, can get into the line, square, up the field, and get 7-8 yards.
He has 87 yards now on 13 carries. He's headed for a big day.
And that's what the Cowboys wanted to do, to be able to run on first down and make 6 or 7 yards so then they can run or pass on the other down.
Second down, 4 from the 45. Newhouse, he has the first down to the 40. Right now, Dallas is running right at this Los Angeles forward ball, something they were having a tough time doing for some time. This crowd reacting to it.
Robert Newhouse, now this is a good play after you've handed the ball to Dorsett. Now they start to key on Dorsett. They start both backs the same way. They're keying on Dorsett. They hand to Robert Newhouse, who cuts back to the inside.
Newhouse, the number 3 rusher in Dallas Cowboy history. A little fire plug of a guy at 5'10", 215 pounds. From the 40, first down. Hill, Pearson, the wide receiver. 10.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Right on a play action. Wide open is Jay Saldy. Saldy to the 3. Jay Saldy left behind him. And the Cowboys have it first and goal.
There's a happy guy, Danny White, after throwing that pass. Watch this now. They set it up by running. This is why people want to establish the run. He ran the ball to Dorsett. He ran it to Newhouse. Then he faked the run, and Saldy was able to get open deep.
And that was a 37-yard pass completion. Dorsett in this game with his 87 yards is averaging 6.7 a carry, so the run established that pass.
Right, and Jay Saldy likes to play against the Rams.
First and goal at the 3. Wide receivers are checked and 3 tight ends are in as Newhouse tries to take it in. He may have gotten the yard and that's all. Let's go back to this pass completion to Saldy.
Now watch what they do. They had just run the play. They had been successful running. See, so he turns out here and he fakes. You see what it does to Jim Youngblood? Holds him on a line of scrimmage. Salty is able to get away free and get deep.
They call him a situation specialist. They bring him in. He'll shuttle the plays in and alternate with Billy Joe Dupree. Gives them an added dimension, John, to play a wide receiver as well as a tight end.
Right, and that was a pretty good situation and a pretty good specialist.
He has 26 catches this year. Second and goal. The ball still just about at the 3. Make it the 2.5. In motion, Saldy, mishandled snap. Did White get on it? He's set down, and Dallas has it. Boy, that came at a very inopportune time as far as Dallas is concerned. A loss back out to the 5-yard line.
Let's watch this again. I wonder if he was bothered by the motion. No, he wasn't. He just looked like either the ball was snapped a little too soon or White pulled out too soon. And it rolled right back to him. You talk about it. The lucky bounces. That ball was down and it rolled right up his leg.
Boy, that's got to be a long period of time, though, when you're sitting there trying to get that football.
Did you see the rib pads on Danny White through his jersey in the huddle there? You can see most quarterbacks in the NFL today are wearing rib pads.
Third and goal from the 5. And a flag. They ran out of time. Delay of game coming up against the Dallas Cowboys. 2 two very disastrous back-to-back plays for Dallas.
Landry's looking for the answer on that telephone, but it's not out there. It's on the field because they've had two plays in a row. Now, once you get down there, what happens, you get down in that goal line, and everyone...
Game, offense, third down.
Everyone gets a little more excited. They want to take off. They're ready to play, and sometimes that includes your quarterback.
Well, Roger Staubach talked about the adrenaline flowing at halftime, and there was a flowing in that particular situation. There's White. You can see he's a little upset at himself. Mishandled snap, a delay of game, and now they're at the 10, and a third and goal there.
That's one of the things. You always want to get your team up and ready to go and relax your quarterback. It's a very difficult thing to do sometimes.
Now look at this. They have one of their wide receivers lining up in the backfield. That would be Drew Pearson. Now, that was Tony Hill. Correction. White. Dorsett. He's in. Touchdown. Perry is shaken up on the play. Rod Perry tried to make the tackle at the goal line. He is still down as Dorsett able to take it in. As we mentioned, Perry hasn't moved since the collision at the goal line.
That was the thing. Our two quarterbacks, Roger Staubach and Terry Bradshaw, were talking about at halftime. One of these quarterbacks will come in the second half and make some big plays. Danny White had trouble with two plays in a row. Again, he was looking deep into the end zone. He had Dorsett underneath and crossing. He came back to Dorsett, who knows what to do with it once he gets it.
Now, Rod Perry, you just saw that, just has moved. He really took a shot as he tried to cut the legs out from under Dorsett. Dorsett really showed me a nose for the goal line on that play.
I'll tell you, that's one thing that the great running backs know. And, of course,
Toggy stepped in, and, of course, these point afters, we know how big they've already been in this game. Charlie Waters to hold. And steps in. Makes it a 20-13 game in favor of the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Dorsett in this game has scored a touchdown rushing, a touchdown receiving. He has over 100 yards in total offense. Kicking off to Drew Hill with 9 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Drew Hill with a 20, 25, and across the 30 to the 32-yard line. And a little pushing and shoving. Hey, the kicker's down there. He better get out of there.
That's the first thing that those kickers should learn. If there's any skirmishes, you get away from them.
Well, he wants to be one of the guys.
Yeah, they like that. Then they can go around the next day and they sit around the locker room talking about, see that hit I got in, see that fight? They love it.
From the 30. Now, John, you talk about momentum. Obviously, Dallas has a lot going for him right now.
Well, they do. And, of course, there's one way to stop this crowd and the excitement of the Cowboys, and that's make something happen on offense.
And Vince Ferragamo is going to try to do that right now. Cullen Bryant in motion. Off to Thomas. Thomas, 29-yard line, no gain, and you are seeing Dallas just flying around out there on defense.
Talking about flying around, did you see Randy White? He started in there in the rush. He ran right down the line of scrimmage. There is a wild guy.
Randy White, a Pro Bowl performer for the 4th year in a row. Man, we talked about they double-team Slough, and now they're going to come in with mass substitution here.
Look at the arms on that guy. I mean, he fills out that jersey. Those aren't strings hanging out of that jersey.
Second down, 11. This crowd now is just in bedlam here at Texas Stadium. Ferragamo trying to hit Denard. Nothing doing. A flag, a penalty flag on Aaron Mitchell. Mitchell making contact on Denard, and that would give the Rams the first down.
You know, sometimes a quarterback can draw that penalty, Gary, as we see it again. See it up on top there? He can bump, he can hit within the first 5 yards, but he cannot hit or touch when the ball is in the air.
Aaron Mitchell has a lot of respect for Denard, who's already caught one touchdown pass over him. And that time he comes away with a penalty. First down for the Los Angeles Rams, just across their 40.
You know what his nickname is?
AM and PM.
Why?
Explain that. Well, they hits them in the morning, which is the AM, and they don't wake up until the afternoon, which is PM. Is that right?
That's good, yeah. That's what Charlie Waters said.
First down. just across the 40. You got that down very well. I didn't know you heard that. Here is Thomas. Gerald Thomas, 5-yard pickup to the 45-yard line. We were mentioning Randy White, and about the fact that Ferragamo says he's not worried about that Dallas pass rush. White had this comment.
You may not be afraid of it, but I don't care who you are. Any quarterback, if you hit him a few times, he's going to be leery of where you're coming from. So I think it's important from our standpoint to get pressure on him early and get him worrying about the rush.
And in this particular half, they have worried Ferragamo. Second down, 6. Broke it up. There's that rush again. Looks like it was John Dutton, number 78. Dutton was the man who got a hand on the ball, playing in place of Larry Cole on this particular play.
That was John Dutton, and what happened here, we'll see Saul. Saul had to go and help Kent Hill. See Saul there? He goes on Randy White, so now that leaves Dutton man-to-man on Harris. See, he gives him the inside move right up into Ferragamo's face. Now, that's tough to throw. That's like throwing out of a tunnel.
Well, I tell you why, because Dutton's 6'7". That doesn't hurt, does it?
And you can't throw over him, and you can't throw through him, so you either throw into him or go around him.
Third down for Los Angeles. 3rd and 6, 7:35 left in this quarter. Ferragamo has Thomas. Thomas with a first down, and they keep it going as he's all the way to the 36-yard line. I tell you, Ferragamo really had great touch on the football that time, and Thomas took over from there.
He did have touch because he is getting some real pressure. This is an example. The Cowboys had 5 defensive line in there, a 5-man rush, which means man-to-man pass coverage. So Ferragamo had to get rid of the ball.
Ferragamo brought him out of a very difficult situation. They needed that one. First down at the 37. Bernard, Waddy split out. Ferragamo on the play action, time to throw, hits Cullen Bryant. Bryant wrestled down at the 35, just inside the 35. John, you get the feeling now Vince is trying to throw underneath a little more.
I don't think he is. I think he's trying to throw deep, but the Cowboy rush is much more than it was the last time to play, and he's not getting time to because he had Billy Waddy downfield, but it was awfully late.
And so just inside the 35, it'll bring up second down, still 8. They picked up only 2 yards. Dutton, White, Harvey Martin, Ed, Too-Tall Jones, that forward line now for Dallas. There's Ferragamo's stats for the day. Drew Hill now in. He's in motion. Ferragamo to Gerald Thomas, and that's a yard, and that's all. Harvey Martin is there. Harvey Martin, the veteran that he is, pinched that one off inside.
Now watch the line here. We see Harvey Martin up on top of the screen. He's flexed. See, he's playing off, which means that he's going to read. They double Randy White. They let Harvey Martin free. He wasn't fooled. He just waited there and made the tackle.
Harvey did not make the Pro Bowl this year, but in the 4 previous years he did. And at the 34, it's another third down for the Rams. 3rd and 8. There he is. All 6'5", 250 pounds of him. Ferragamo needs another third down completion. Bernard picked off by Aaron Mitchell. Mitchell laterals to Dennis Sherman. Sherman to the 50. He fumbles the ball. Who has it? Cullen Bryant tries to come up with it. And we'll wait on the decision.
You know, that penalty back there was a forward lateral. I know
that's what it is exactly. Pat Haggerty caught that. A man has been shaken up for the Dallas Cowboys at the 37. That's Mike Hageman, the linebacker. So they'll bring that play back. But Aaron Mitchell, they picked on him, John, maybe one too many times.
Well, he was waiting. He got a real good jump on that ball, and Ferragamo left it in the air a little too long because he was back. He was open for a second. Now we'll watch it here. See the stun in the middle, the 2 tackles crossing. They're trying to get pressure right up the middle on Ferragamo, and Aaron Mitchell made a great recovery here. He was back off a little, saw the ball, and really beat Denard to it.
Well, AM did the job.
See the forward lateral? You can't do that. Nope, that's no good. Penalty, flag, hat, beanbag, whole thing.
But it will be the Cowboys football at the 30, and they like that. They stop the drive, even though they don't have it down at the other end of the field. Hageman is up and moving. First down for Dallas. And he went to Dorsett. He almost fumbled the ball. Dorsett. Yep. his grasp and got to the 32. You know, we talked about a Pro Bowler. How about Pat Donovan? This shows you why he made the Pro Bowl.
You watch the strength on him. Now, Fred Dreyer is playing way outside him. Now, he can't hook him, so he just gets to the outside and says, okay, if I can't bring you in, I'll just take you out and let Tony Dorsett run inside.
Well, Tom Landry says he's their best offensive lineman. Out of Stanford, his 6th year. We have straight year in the Pro Bowl.
We have some great offensive linemen playing on this field today.
2nd down, 8 for Dallas. Dorsett, Newhouse, the running backs. That's Drew Pearson in motion from the 32. Dorsett, 35, 40, first down, 45-yard line. Tony Dorsett approaching 100 yards for the day. He's averaging, prior to that carry, 6.7. And this young man, the Heisman Trophy winner from the University of Pittsburgh, is having a remarkable day.
Did you see that little smile he had there? It's just like he was listening to you, Gary. But he made a great move on that right about the line of scrimmage. Watch this now. Johnny Johnson is coming up. See Johnson there, number 20? He starts in and then dips to the outside and gets right up the sideline. That little move inside is what made it possible.
And that put him over 100 yards for the day. He has 103. Rod Perry now, remember, he's on the sideline still. He was hit in the head on that touchdown. He may return before the day is over. Here's Newhouse, 50. Another first down as he breaks it across the 40. Stays on his feet to the 38. And the fire plug just would not go down. First down for the Dallas Cowboys.
So we're going to watch Robert Newhouse again here. And he's 5'10". He's probably about 5'8" or 9. But it's all legs. And watch those legs there. Watch those things. Watch how he keeps his feet going. Always keep going forward, moving, take on anything. Look at that leg action. Up, kicking, kick through. Huh? I like that. I like offensive linemen and running backs.
Especially running backs to make runs like that. 38-yard line now at Los Angeles. First down. We have an injury report on Mike Hickman. He hurt his elbow. He's in the locker room now for x-rays. It's Danny White going deep to Pearson. I want to see that one again. It looked like Drew Pearson had the ball. Lucius Smith defending on the play.
I think he could have had that ball because if there was any defense, watch right there. See, it went up. If there was any defense, it came after the ball went through his hands. Maybe it was a little high. Now watch. He has the gloves on. We're seeing more and more of that in wide receivers now. See that? And it looked like it just went right through his hand.
Boy,
and there was no and there the defense comes right now.
Look at those. You can really see he just misjudged it, went right through his hands, and you won't see him do that very often.
You know, he could have lost the ball as it was coming up over. By the time he got it in his hands, he couldn't see it.
We have Rod Perry now has come back into the game at right cornerback. Perry back in. 2nd down and 10 for the Dallas Cowboys. White from the shotgun has Preston Pearson in the backfield along with Dorsett. White to Tony Hill. Hill to the 31-yard line. The ball taken loose, but it will be the Cowboys football. At the 31, they're still about 3 yards short of the first down.
You know, as we watch this again, the Cowboys are doing an excellent job of pass protection for Danny White because he does have time. The Rams don't look like they're blitzing as much in this game as they did the last time they played.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe they figure that they have to cover. Of course, they're playing from behind, too. You know, the score has been tied, and now they're 7 points down, and they're playing a different type defense.
3rd down, a long 2 to go, just outside the 30-yard line. And some movement, flags everywhere.
Whole bunch of guys left, and the ball didn't go. You don't have to talk about that, guys. You know what it is. It's against the Cowboys. Everyone saw that.
Illegal procedure.
They all huddle and get together. They know what it was.
Now let's listen and find out who the guilty party is.
Ball starts, number 64, offense.
That's Tom Rafferty, the right guard, who Cowboys feel should be in the Pro Bowl, along with Scott Donovan.
He's a good one, and they always blame the poor offensive lineman. You notice that? I think it was one of those ends that left first.
You defend those guys.
Well, yeah, they only get their name mentioned when there's a penalty. When they hold or they jump offside, that's all. They never say, Tom Rafferty made great blocks.
3 wide receivers now for Dallas on a 3rd and 7. The Rams would like to shut it off right now. White, big pressure. Butch Johnson. Johnson, touchdown. They had everybody coming after Danny White, and he got the ball off, and Butch Johnson took over.
I'll tell you, he sure did. We were talking about the blitz, that they hadn't blitzed as much, and on the very next play, they come with the maximum or all-out blitz. Danny White handles it real well. Watch him coming. Watch him coming. There's Musha Smith coming right up the middle. There's Johnny Johnson. I mean, he just gets the ball off there. A perfect lead for Butch Johnson.
Here's a guy that could be starting for a lot of teams in the NFL. He has been spectacular at times, and that time a 35-yard touchdown catch. He had a 17-yarder in that Monday night game against the Los Angeles Rams. Septian on the point after attempt. Waters holding again at the 2:36 mark of the third quarter. And Septian hits it. And the Dallas Cowboys have now picked up a little breathing room as they lead it 27-13 with 2:36 left in the third quarter, and the crowd is on their feet at Texas Stadium as Dallas trying to avenge that earlier loss. And John, they're doing a very workmanlike job right now.
And look at the crowd, the job that the crowd is doing. You know, Charlie Waters said that he really didn't have this emotion in this crowd, but they've had it the last few weeks. Now watch Danny White. You could just feel that blitz coming at him. He just got the ball up over, perfect throw.
Boy, Butch Johnson is one of those guys who comes in. Remember that catch he made in the Super Bowl against Denver?
Right.
Diving catch. He's the kind of guy that you got to have. You're going to go all the way. You had some players like that you'd bring off the bench that year. You won it all in Oakland.
Well, you know, that's one of the things. When you get to the playoff games, you have to have quality backup people. And when you're talking about quality, you're talking about the Butch Johnson. See, now, what Ray's saying is we just walked into a hornet's nest here, man.
Well, remember, though, last week they led Philadelphia early. Remember that? And all of a sudden that game became a little close for
That's right. And one thing that Ray was saying is, look, you know, when you're playing away, the crowd makes more. It's really not as bad as these people are making. All we need is 2 touchdowns. Let's go out and get one right now.
And kicking off, Septian, Drew Hill, and he's out to the 30-yard line. So Los Angeles will start it again. The interception by Aaron Mitchell, and then the 35-yard touchdown pass, and Dallas with this 14-point lead. Bill Rowe making the last tackle. There was that drive. Only took 6 plays.
6 plays, and of course that big one, that last touchdown pass to Johnson against the all-out blitz of the Rams.
There's a lot of time left in this game as you look at Danny White. What a job he has done.
Did you see the pressure that he was under, though? We had a great shot as the blitz was coming right at the screen. That's what he has to play under.
This is Gerald Thomas. Thomas 35-36. The Rams still trying to establish that running game. Pickup of 6 on the play. Be second down 4. Thomas, last time they played, really surprised this Cowboy team, John. I got the feeling that he jumped outside early in that game, and they had to say, who is this guy, number 33?
They didn't know who he was, and of course, you know, by the time they found out they were behind by 28 points.
But today they have been very much aware of him. Second down 4 from the 36. This is Cullen Bryant. Nothing. Randy White was there first. He is able to pick up a yard more, but Randy White had the first collision, and I mean a collision, back behind the line of scrimmage.
It knocked his chin strap off. You see, he's buckling up his chin strap again. You know, the biggest difference in this second half, though, and I felt it the minute they came out, was the way that this defense is playing here. They come out, I mean, they are fired up this second half. You can feel it. The crowd can feel it. But I think that's the thing that has turned this game around.
Third down, a long yard to go for Los Angeles. They have 2 tight ends, Nelson and Arnold in. Trying to pick it up is Thomas, and I don't think he got it. Gerald Thomas needed to get to the 40-yard line. Did he get there? This could be a very close measurement. Let's see. It looks like a right foot job, though.
I don't know. Is it a right foot job?
I think it is.
Well, right foot would be a first time. I think it's a left foot job. I think it'll be short. You know, but the Cowboys really swarmed that run. I used to always say that goal line and short yardage defense breeded fanaticism.
Well, we're going to see if it was a left or a right foot as you look at the chain.
He has to pull it, yeah.
See, that was a right footer.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
I tell you, working with you, I've gotten very well versed on these particular things. I've learned nothing else. I've learned about officiating.
It's all where they, the officials are doing a good job here today. This is in the playoffs, they break up the crews, and what they amount to is all-star crews. These officials haven't worked together all year.
And they were voted on in the course of the year and get these postseason games. On a first down, Ferragamo. Billy Waddy can't hang on. Steve Wilson over there, too tall that time for Waddy. Trying to get up in the air, and that'll bring up a second down.
Vince Ferragamo looks like he throws this a little too soon. Waddy was working, and it looked like he gave it to him a little too soon. You see, Waddy really hadn't finished running his pattern yet, and the ball was a little high. I think he could have held it a little longer.
Steve Wilson with one interception, batted down another one. He's played very well. He's the young man that last year was a wide receiver for Dallas, moving to defensive back this season. Second down 10, 47 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ferragamo off to Thomas. Thomas 45, 50, first down. And that is one of the few times that Thomas has been able to get his shoulders headed up the field.
It was, and it was a roll draw. It was off a roll play, a half roll where he handed to Thomas on a draw or a delay play. It was designed to go inside. The Cowboys did a good job of shutting it down, and Thomas bounced the ball to the outside. Now, there's a big guy. You know, in the East-West game a year ago, he weighed 243 pounds.
And they weren't thinking he was going to play anywhere.
That's probably why he was drafted third.
The Rams are glad to have him. Mike Kuhlman now has checked in along with Thomas in the backfield. 42 seconds of the third quarter. First down. Ferragamo. Wilson. He dropped it. Wilson had it. I don't think he could believe it.
You can't. Now, on that play, that was a mix-up in communication because Vince Ferragamo threw an up or a deep pattern, and Billy Waddy ran a short out. Now watch, see, Waddy's not there. He'll be on the sideline here. See him way up in the top of the picture? He ran a short out to the sideline, and Ferragamo threw it like it was another pattern.
Guess that's the reason they moved Wilson from wide receiver to defensive back. Too Tall Jones has come out of there now, and Bruce Thornton has replaced him at left defensive end for Dallas. Second down, 10. Ferragamo in trouble, gets away from Randy White. He just got rid of that one. Thornton was back there, but it was Randy White. And if there's one man on this Dallas team that has played with unbelievable emotion, it's number 54, Randy White.
I'll tell you, we went to practice and talked to him yesterday, and we had him on earlier. He looked like he was ready to play right then. You talk about intensity. You know, coaches always use that word, and we probably don't even know what it means, but it means what this guy number 54 is.
And he had all those computer readouts with him, too.
Oh, he had a book. I asked him what it was. He said it's his defensive playbook, and it was about 3 inches thick. It was all computer plays of the Rams.
Third down and 10. The Rams need to keep it going. Pressure put on by Thornton. Ferragamo got away from it. Throws to Thomas, and he threw it too tall. He again made Thomas get very extended on that play. It brings up fourth down, and Los Angeles will have to kick. And the crowd loves it. With 24 seconds to go in the third quarter, as Corral will go back, Jones will receive the punt. There he is.
The crowd loves their defense, and you know, all the talk before the game about the offenses and the passing and so on. I tell you, this Dallas defense has done the job for these 3 quarters.
They put Thornton in the last 2 plays, John, and he has given that offensive line fits. Corral up, beautiful kick, picturesque. Jones is going to let it hit, and it is going to die inside the 5 as the Rams pounce on it. Beautiful kick by Frank Corral in history.
I never thought the ball was going to come down. I think it's still up there.
Number 5, first down, White. Oh, what a hit on Dorsett. The Rams know this is a chance now to really start to get back in, trailing by 14 as we come to the end.
If you're going to do, then it's easier to throw the ball.
Dorsett on that last play lost a yard, so he had 103 prior to that last play. Second down, 11. Here's Tony again. Out to the 10. He's to the 14, and that's a yard short of the first down. And the Rams may have let him off the hook.
They did a little, and they were really pressing from this side. Andrews is coming from the outside. He's trying to press to squeeze down that hole. A good job of blocking at the point of attack, and he's able to get through there and get a big play for him.
53-yard run in that 79 game. Interesting thing, these four teams, the last playoff games that they have had against each other, the visiting team has won every time, and the Cowboys trying to do something about that. 3 tight ends are in on this third down and a yard. We've just started the fourth quarter. Dallas by 14. Dorsett has it. He breaks it. He fumbles the ball, and Dallas has it. No, who's got it? Dallas comes up with it. Los Angeles had it for a moment, and the Cowboys have recovered. Let's look at it again.
That's the second one of those bounces that we've had for the Cowboys. The first one bounced back to Danny White. Now watch this one. It's a great blocking at the point of attack by Tom Rafferty and Jim Cooper. See, Cromwell knocks the ball out. Yes, Johnny Johnson has it. Now watch it just like it rolled backwards right to Dorsett like a magnet.
Always amazing how tough it is to fall on a ball like that.
Well, did you see how that ball bounced back? That was just like the kick, where the kick turned and bounced back. The ball just bounced right back to Dorsett.
So the gain out to the 29-yard line. Drew Pearson in motion. Danny White off to Newsom. This is Timmy Newsom, a rookie. And this guy at 6'1", 227, out of Winston-Salem State, has another first down for the Dallas Cowboys. He carried the ball only 23 times in the regular season of play. They really like this guy, though. He's bigger than most of the fullbacks that Dallas has had.
Ray Malavasa was over there scratching his head, and he said, look, man, we have to stop the run. You know, they had him backed up there. It would have been a great thing, but the Cowboys and their offensive line have done an excellent job of run blocking and being able to get that ball out of bad field position, now in good field position.
Butch Johnson, Drew Pearson, the wide receivers. Dorsett now with 127 yards for the day. Look how Shaw holds that ball when he snapped it. It's on him. Give to Dorsett. Hit very hard. The 49-yard line. Mike Fanning, 79 over there. Both these teams using some alternate people in the defensive lines.
I'll tell you, Fanning really did come from that side. He was on the right side. He came all the way across and really unloaded at the end there.
You check defensively now for this team. You see it's Youngblood, Fanning, Reggie Doss is in there. Doss and Dreyer have alternated all year long at defensive right end. Second down, 5. White to Newhouse. Newhouse, another first down. They try to tackle the ball. He's to the 41. Nothing fancy about it right now.
No, they aren't. It's just straight ahead, and it's just straight blocking, and they're running what we call pick-a-hole plays. Now watch this defensive line here. See, they take the inside, the tackle goes inside. Jack Youngblood works outside and up the field, and they give him that inside hole. It looks like they're playing sweep, like they're worried about Dorsett getting to the outside, and they really are giving up that inside hole, and on that play to Robert Newhouse.
Newhouse just wouldn't give up that football. He is one of those guys that doesn't fumble, and he is able to hang on.
He goes forever.
First out at the 42, Tony Dorsett. Doss misses him. Dorsett, a flag on the play as he's dropped at the line of scrimmage. Oh, he just ran away from Reggie Doss, who tried to make the diving tackle.
Well, you know, he will run away from any defensive end in the league. The thing that you want to do is you want to get upfield so that he can't run outside you and force him back to the inside and get your pursuit coming. They didn't do that.
Well, the penalty going against Dallas. And that could be the drive stopper, as it'll be a 10-yarder. Make that back to the 48-yard line, and let's hear it.
Holding, 87, offense.
And so that would be Jay Saldi.
I don't know why Jay Saldi had to hold on that play. He was playing the tight end on the right side, the ball was a sweep to the left side.
Maybe he thought nobody had noticed.
Well, he didn't have to hold them. They're not running there anyway. See, now that was another thing that used to get me upset. The guy over the ball, jumping offside, and a guy holding him who ran the other way.
First down 20. Here's Newsom again. Hacksaw Reynolds can't tackle him. He breaks away from George Andrews. And Newsom may have a first down. 2 tackles. Newsom was able to run through. And he's about a yard short of the first down.
Now watch it. The Rams really are not tackling well in this second half. Now, Newsom did a nice job. He started the inside. He gave a little move there, and that was what caused Reynolds to miss that one.
19-yard pickup. We may be hearing a little bit about this young man. Hacksaw Reynolds had a real shot at him. He could have stopped him for little or no gain.
And he knows it, and he's upset with himself. And what it is he went for the move more than missed the tackle.
Second down, a yard. 10-10 left in this game. 27-13, the Cowboys. This is James Jones who's checked in, and he goes for the first down to the 30-yard line. Newsom on 2 carries had 34 yards. As Dorsett and Newhouse will come in replacing Newsom and James Jones.
Tom Landry's looking down at that list, and he says, I don't know about those passes. I may just put those away from today. I have some pretty good runs going here.
He's having a tough time finding something that won't work right now.
Well, and he's using different backs. He's used Dorsett, he's used Jones, he's used Preston Pearson in the passing game, Newhouse, Springs, and Timmy Newsom. He's used 6 running backs.
Third winningest coach in the NFL history. 184 wins coming into this game. Dorsett. Dorsett to the 15, to the 10, to the 7. Tony Dorsett is putting on a clinic now.
He's putting on the clinic, and of course, he's making some of those tacklers miss. The Rams are not really having a good second half tackling, but some of that is being caused by the running of these backs. Now watch this line. Watch Rafferty in there, number 64, the job that he does of turning his man to the inside, allowing Dorsett to get into the hole. Look at that leg action there. He just ran through two tacklers, away from another one, third, fourth. It took about 5 of them to get him.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of what was happening to Dallas on Monday night. The same kind of tackling.
Right, and that'll happen sometimes when the other team starts to get the game away from you.
First and goal at the 7. Danny White flags. They did not get the snap off. Another delay of game call against the Dallas Cowboys, and that's happened twice inside the 10-yard line. Boy, that is costly.
Game, offense.
Last time it happened, they were inside the 5.
I'll tell you, I don't know why they let the quarterback get hit after they blow the whistle, though. I don't agree with that. Now, watch this. Now, the whistle is blown. There's no play. The play's dead. See, he just comes back. Now, watch that hit. They shouldn't do that. If the whistle blows, then doggone it, you don't play anymore.
Delay of game, offense, first down.
How about playing the whistle, Pat?
You know what? I don't think he can hear you from up here. I know he can hear you from the sidelines, but it's an impossibility from here.
Someone will tell me.
Dorsett now 155 yards on 20 carries. A penalty back out to the 12-yard line. First and goal from there. Well, they could get this one in. They'd be sitting in excellent shape. There's Cromwell yelling something around. White to Dorsett. Dorsett maybe got a yard, and that's all to the 11. Dorsett's best output this year was 183 yards. That came early in the year. Now with about 156. And he has been hit very hard and showed a lot of courage in this football game. Never forget that touchdown.
You know, that's one thing about these running backs today that is really amazing, Gary. You know, this is their 17th game. They played 4 preseason games, 21 games in all. And, you know, to still be able to play like this, it's just amazing. These are amazing people.
Second and goal at the 11 as Dorsett got one of those yards back. Drew Pearson in motion. White. Drew Pearson, touchdown. And he throws a ball in the stands. That'll cost him a couple of dollars.
I'm sure that's the last thing in his mind right now. what that cost them. I tell you, they're a happy team. You see here, you see Danny White. It was going to be a drop back. He saw a little pressure in the middle, rolled out to the outside. There was no containment out there, and he found Drew Pearson in the end zone. Let her go, Drew. Heave it up in there.
11-yard touchdown strike, the 7th touchdown of the year for Drew Pearson. And Danny White is having a remarkable day for this Dallas team.
And he has a smile on his face. Danny White says, I told you I could do it.
33-13, 7.5 minutes left. Septian makes it another one, 34-13. And Dallas is almost completely reversed what has happened in Monday night when they lost in that football game, 38-14. They've come back, they've turned the tables, and Dallas trying to move ahead into the playoffs. Game, Drew Hill to bring it out. Hill to the 20, out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Danny White, 12 of 25. 190 yards, 2 touchdowns after suffering 3 interceptions in the first half. John, this game in the second half, Dallas is just a completely different football team.
Right, they are, and it all started with that first possession that the Rams had when that Cowboy defense came out. You could just feel it throughout this stadium.
They got to really go deep now.
Well, if there's anyone that can do it, it's Vince Ferragamo. He knows how to go deep.
Guy Brown is in at linebacker now for Mike Hickman. Hickman out with the elbow injury. Ferragamo starting out against Thomas. Gerald Thomas, that will be short of the first down, out to the 29-yard line. Doug France getting up very slowly for Los Angeles. France at the 10 is hurt.
You know, he's had that bad right hand. You can see the cast on
down 3 for the Los Angeles Rams. Inside 7 minutes left in this game. The Rams having to play catch-up. They cross him up with Colin Bryant. Did he get the first down? Looks like he may have gotten the first down across the 32. There's Drew Pearson. Made that touchdown catch. Very, very polished young man, and visiting with him, a clutch performer on this team. And 7 touchdowns for the year. The all-time leading receiver, Bob Hayes, had the old record of 366. He broke that, had 378 catches coming into this game.
That's right. He's smiling more now than he was yesterday. He wouldn't smile yesterday.
I tell you, they had some intensity in that practice. Off the throw, Ferragamo in trouble. You saw Thornton, 77, also Randy White. Bruce Thornton, the second-year man from Illinois, playing in place of Ed Too Tall Jones right now. Thornton was an 8th-round draft pick a year ago. An excellent pass rusher. In fact, he's kind of a pass rush specialist for him. They just feel he needs more playing time because he has a lot of promise.
We were talking about that Ferragamo would probably throw deep, you know, the old bombs away type thing. He's really been trying to, but he hasn't had the time to go deep.
That's the first sack. That's 30 sacks given up this year by L.A. They have not allowed very many. 3 wide receivers in. 2nd and 17. Colin Bryant fires out to the 40. He's 2 yards short of the first down. Larry Cole today has set a record, appearing in his 24th playoff game. That's an NFL record. And we were kidding him. They called him the Galloping Ghost because he picked off a pass against Washington and went 48 yards for a touchdown.
I asked him if he was double-teamed on that play.
What he said?
He said he felt like there was a whole bunch of them. Everyone was watching me, he said.
3rd down, 3 yards to go. Up to Thomas. That'll be a first down. Thomas to the 47-yard line. Aaron Mitchell, who has an interception today. There's a flag, however, and it looks like it's going against Los Angeles.
That'll be holding on the Rams.
We've just been told, John, that Dorsett, his 156 yards is a new playoff record for Tony, breaking the record of Dwayne Thomas of 143.
Holding, number 16, offense.
The way Tony's playing today, the rest of the teams better look out. Now, remember this. Dallas winning today, they would go against Atlanta.
And there's a lot of people that felt even before this game that the winner of this game, the Wildcard game, could be the eventual representative of the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Well, you can't play much better than Dallas has in this second half of play. Third down now, 13 after the hold. Ferragamo under a lot of pressure, hits Denard. Denard to the 50, and they get the first down. On a 3rd and 13, Ferragamo converts the first down to the midfield stripe, and L.A. hasn't given up.
No, they haven't given up, but they have to start thinking touchdowns. They have to get one touchdown as soon as they can so that they can start doing some things like onside kick, like blitzing and trying to get a turnover. So they have to get that one so that they can go to work on the other things.
In 1975, the Dallas Cowboys were a wild card team. They went all the way to the Super Bowl. They'd like to do that again. And it's possible. And this is their first step. Ferragamo, there's the deep pass. Nobody down there, though. Quickscale comes up with it. Dexter Quickscale, a rookie out of South Carolina State. And, John, I don't know what happened on that play. Nobody was down there for Los Angeles.
Well, there were three Dallas Cowboys down there. It looked like Vince Ferragamo wanted to go for one. He wanted to get one in the end zone. He decided this was going to be it. And he just threw it out there. And the only people, watch this, there's 3 Dallas Cowboy defenders right there as the ball comes down.
Revenge, it's sweet, and I believe right now the Cowboys are enjoying every minute of this game. Timmy Newhouse in the backfield along with Dorsett. After the interception by Quickscale, and Dorsett is just adding to his record, moving the ball out to the 10-yard line. Ferragamo with that last interception has suffered 3, as has White, and Vince 14 of 30, 175 yards. Great contrast to that 275-yard game and 3 touchdowns on Monday night.
Vince isn't very happy with this because there's really not much that he can do now.
We have a man down now for the Rams at the 12-yard line, and there's his rushing, 7.3 average.
And that's a standing ovation that these fans just gave Tony Dorsett.
Well, they're 18-1 with him now. Each time he's gone over 100 yards, they've won 18 of 19 games. Fitz Thompson in at wide receiver. Here's Newhouse. And Newhouse out to the 12-yard line. Now remember, Dallas will go against Atlanta. That will be on a Sunday. Philadelphia will meet Minnesota as the NFC playoffs continue. Of course, they'll be right here on CBS. Atlanta watching this game, probably just shaking their head because they lost to the Rams last week in overtime, and realize they are going to have their hands full with this Dallas team.
Well, I'll tell you, Dallas will have their hands full with Atlanta, too. I like that team.
In fact, you felt that in one particular stage of the year, they were the best team you'd seen this year.
Right, that New England game I felt was the best team we'd seen all year. They won the Falcons.
3rd down and 3. And coming out to the 20-yard line is James Jones, who got this team started off very well, returning punts and kickoffs.
You know, I'm sure I understand what Tom Landry was talking about yesterday. You know, every game that the Rams have had trouble this year, and you think of the Miami Dolphins, you think of the Detroit Lions, those teams have all run well against them. And that's what Tom he's saying, see, I told you guys yesterday we'd be able to run. He's telling someone that on the telephone up here.
Remember, the first game, he had only 96 yards against the Rams. What a reversal this has been today.
Well, maybe someone up here was telling Tom that I told you we'd be able to run because he was shaking his head.
Well, he may call home, tell her what he wanted for dinner, what kind of a meal. First down, 10. Jones again. Jones to the 25. Pick up a 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. This is when coaches, if you're in Tom Landry's shoes, kind of enjoy this game a little bit. You kind of had a couple of moments like this.
I'm sure he is. He'll let this clock run down now to the 2-minute warning. Now there's Tom over there, and I know what he's thinking. What? He's thinking, calling the dogs, put out the fire, the hunt's over, we're in the playoffs.
And what's that other expression? The hay is in the barn. That was one of your others. So the 2-minute warning is here. It's 2nd down and 5 for Dallas when we return. Ray Malavasi, with 2 minutes left in this game, probably just as soon it was all over right now. His team trailing 34-13. Has the ball at the 25-yard line. Dallas with a second down 5. Dallas in this second half has just been a remarkable football team. What a performance they have put together. James Jones on a second and 5. First down, 40, 45, 47-yard line. I don't think anybody all year long has run the ball as effectively against Los Angeles as Dallas has.
Well, they started out that way. Remember the first game of the season, the Detroit Lions, Billy Sims, they had a big day like this. That was just a trap right up the middle.
We have another Cowboy record today. The previous record for first downs in a playoff game for Dallas was 26. They have 29 today. That was a 22-yard run. We want to thank our spotter, Mike Hagan, our statistician, Jerry Cohen, and in a moment we want to thank some people in the truck, John, who's done a great job today.
I'll tell you, they were super.
A minute 18 left in this game. Ron Springs, James Jones, the setbacks. Jones dropped in a hurry. Let's just mention some of the people that our executive producer, Charles Milton III, he actually sat down and visited with us. Did you see that sport coat he had?
Old number 52.
Our producer, David Fox, I tell you, I really appreciate how hard that man has worked this year. Our director, Tony Burnett, I have it from good resources that he did invent Instant Replay first. Our associate producer, Rick Sharp, glad to have him with us. Our associate directors, John McDonough and Mike Burks, for the job they have done. And these men today have just, I don't think I've ever worked with anybody who was more efficient than they've been today.
Now, they were super. Old David Fox and Too Tough Tony.
Too Tough Tony. We got him out of Los Angeles, got him down here in the Midlands. There's Ron Springs. Springs to the 40. He may go. Johnny Johnson has him. Johnny Johnson caught Springs at the 20, or he had a touchdown. And they just continue to mount up impressive rushing yardage in this game.
I'll tell you, the Cowboys are practicing for next week. They know that, they have something going here, and they say, we want to keep it going.
Again, some of the people responsible for not only our show, but the NFL today. And they're just going to let it wind down, and that's going to be the end of this football game as Dallas has won it 34-13. Their next date, January 4th against Atlanta. John, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Well, I've enjoyed it too. This is our last one, and now we'll be waiting for the NFL today.
All right, let's go now to Brent Musburger and the NFL today.